Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to tell you guys about my breastfeeding journey and everything you should know. So as a first-time mom, breastfeeding was definitely something that I thought would be easier than expected. I read a whole entire book about breastfeeding before I even was pregnant, don't ask. But I was trying for a really long time, so I felt like that was the only thing I should do. So I'm gonna tell you guys 12 things that you should know about breastfeeding, and these are things I wish someone told me. If you like these types of videos, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and subscribe to my channel as well. It's free. You can turn on the bell notification as well, just so you're notified every time I upload. All right, let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to say is the beginning hurts. I did not know this was a thing. I didn't know that everyone pretty much feels pain, but if you really think about it, nobody has ever sucked on your nipple aggressively, so your nipple has a time that it needs to get used to. So I remember when I would latch Jaden on after we came home from the hospital, because in the hospital everything was great. Like, it was like, ooh, this is easy breezy, like he latched on well, like nothing hurts, and so on. When I came home, I thought my nipples were gonna fall off. They were cracked, they were sore. Every time that I would put him onto my breast, I cringed. Like, I wanted to cry. I bit my tongue so I didn't cry. It hurt. And it lasted for a good few days where it was like super sensitive, where I couldn't even bear the pain. But I told myself, it has to get better after this, right? Well, let me tell you, it definitely does. So muscle through the pain. I know it's hard, but in the end, it will be worth it. So slap on that lanolin, give yourself some comfy clothes, nothing that will rub up against your nipple, and just breathe, okay? Just breathe. So number 2 is latch. I don't think people really realize how important a latch is. If you are unsure if your baby has a good latch, look into a lactation consultant. I honestly wish I reached out to one way before I did. I reached out to one at 4 months old already, and I feel like it was a little bit too late, even though it was super helpful still. So latch is important. I think some people kind of, what's the word? When they look at the latch, I feel like a lot of people look at tongue tie, cheek tie, lip tie, and they say your baby needs surgery and so on to like fix it. I feel like Jaden definitely had some kind of tie, but I didn't catch it till later on, and he's like developing totally normal. So sometimes I feel like that's over, what's the word? Like, I feel like that's the only thing people can think about when they say like your baby has a terrible latch. Like, they assume that it's already that, and then they send you to the doctor and that's it. But I feel like there's other things to a latch, so really see a lactation consultant who you trust. And if you feel like you had a consultation with one and you didn't like them, go to another one. It's totally fine. But the latch is super important. It's the way your baby will learn how to you know, get the milk out of your boob, so make sure that it is a good one. Number 3 is milk supply. So the first 6 weeks of your baby's life definitely counts a lot. This is where your milk supply is really established. I wish that I kind of muscled through a little bit more before I gave Jaden a bottle. I feel like I could have had a better milk supply, but again, everything is done totally fine. We made it through 10 months of breastfeeding, so you know, I'm not mad about it or anything. I know people can do it less and people can do it more. It's totally fine. I just didn't know these things. I didn't know that the more, you know, I put Jaden onto my breast, the better for me and my supply as well. So don't be afraid to latch on your baby as often as they want. It's totally different than formula feeding. They have times where they want to cluster feed, so just go with their flow. They will let you know when they're hungry. Uneven supply is totally normal. Till this day, this boob gives me more milk than this one, and they look it too. I mean, don't expect your boobs to look fully even. Naturally, even before they have milk, they're slightly uneven, and that is totally normal. So don't be hard on yourself, and then don't get overly anxious about your milk supply. I think as a first-time mom, I really went and like dived deep into pumping because I thought I wasn't producing enough milk. People were like, oh, he's not eating enough, oh, he's not doing this, blah blah blah, he looks skinny. Like, it was just ridiculous, and I wish I had the support. And I mean, this even came from like family members, people I knew, and people that just didn't know anything about breastfeeding, and it made me so angry. And everyone was like, oh, the easy way out is just give a bottle, like if you don't, you know, blah blah blah. And I really wish I had the support. I feel like husbands should be like educated on it, especially if you do decide to breastfeed, pump, however you want to do it. I think you should definitely educate your husband and people around you. My mom and like my mother-in-law, they never really breastfed, so they didn't really know what to expect. Like, I even got questions of like, when are you going to add rice into his milk? Never. Like, that was like a thing back in the day, and that's fine. People think that if you fill up your baby more, they will sleep better, but I don't think that actually works. But again, everyone has their own opinion on that, so you do you. But I really, really wish I had the support, and I wasn't super anxious about how much he was getting. Like, I felt like I needed to see how much I was producing to know that he was getting X amount of milk. But to be honest, babies are the best at extracting your milk, more than a pump is, and more than anything else. So just trust your baby, count the diapers. If your baby's having, you know, a good amount of wet diapers, you are totally fine. So number 4 is the way breast milk is made. This one to me was super cool and like mind-blowing. You know how like doctors, even my pediatrician and my mom and like everyone, it's like, oh, if you're gonna eat beans, like your baby's gonna be gassy, or if you're gonna eat spicy food, like it can affect your child's tummy too. It's not true. That's an actual myth. Your breast milk is made in your bloodstream. The only thing that can affect your baby is if you eat milk because of the cow milk protein, and your baby just might be intolerant to cow milk protein, which I think can get through into your bloodstream. I'm not exactly sure on that 100%. That's something that you should, you know, discuss with your pediatrician. I am no way, shape or form a doctor. This is just my experience and also what I learned from my journey as well as my lactation consultant. So really go out there, eat whatever you want. If you're breastfeeding, you will be hungry and thirsty, so just eat. So number 5 is bottle feeding, and why I say bottle feeding is because I feel like as a breastfeeding mom, people should look into bottle paste feeding. Sometimes I feel that people have their babies overeat because all we really do is lay the baby down, put the bottle in the mouth, whether they're fussy or not or don't want anymore. I feel like a lot of people just shove it in their mouth. And I'm just saying this from experience. When I see people bottle feed Jaden, even like grandparents and things like that, it's just like finish the bottle, like as if, you know, it was the end of the world if they didn't. So definitely look into bottle paste feeding. It's something that allows them to, you know, take a break and kind of have the same situation as if you were breastfeeding, because during your breastfeeding session you get a letdown where the milk supply is coming out a lot faster, and then it kind of slows down as well, but they still have to suck and work for it. So same idea there. Just check it out, you'll know what I mean. So number 6 is find support. Again, I kind of mentioned this before. Really find somebody who has been through it, who is there for you, and who will be your cheerleader. If not, reach out to a lactation consultant, reach out to maybe a Facebook group, anything that, you know, will help get you through it. breastfeeding is really, really hard, and sometimes it's super discouraging when people are putting you down too. But just keep doing what you think is best, what's best for you and baby. So number 7 is breastfeeding position. Find a breastfeeding position that really works for you. There are so many different options. I feel like when I was in the hospital, they like showed me like 2 different things and that was it, but there's like 5 different breastfeeding positions. And Jaden's favorite now is when I lay next to him side by side and he feeds that way. He really didn't love the cradle hold. He hated the football hold. So find something that works for you, that's comfortable for you, and just try it out. It doesn't hurt. Number 8 is to take care of yourself. Moms, if you don't take care of yourself with your nutrition, your diet, like what you are eating, how much you're eating, and your water intake, your milk supply will be low. There are things that will help with your milk supply, like oatmeal. Some people say dates, almond butters, like nut butters, peanut butters, whatever it may be, brewer's yeast, flax meal. Like just eat healthy as best as you can. I'm not saying you can't eat a piece of chocolate cake or anything like that, you know, but just fuel yourself. You need the energy. You are producing milk and you are taking care of a baby. You are recovering here, whether you're having a C-section or a natural birth. It's a lot. So take your time, forget all the stuff that you need to get done, your laundry, your cooking, your dishes, whatever. Just fuel your body with good food and a lot of water, okay? Remember, if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of someone else? Number 9 is you should not feel any pain at all. And I'm not saying this is part of the beginning, because the beginning does hurt, but later on, you should not feel pain while your baby is feeding. So that's something to look into. If you are feeling pain, you can maybe have mastitis, you can maybe have clogged ducts, or there may be just something wrong with baby's latch. So definitely reach out to your lactation consultant to see how you can fix these things, because again, breastfeeding should not be painful unless it's the beginning stages where your nipples are cracked and sore from, you know, the shock of being sucked on so much. Number 10 is leaks happen a lot, okay? So have those breast pads handy. You will be leaking majority of the time. And actually, I should say not everyone does leak. Maybe you have a lower milk supply and that's okay, but maybe you're an oversupplier and you're leaking 24/7. I have a friend whose baby is a month older than mine and she is 11 months and she still leaks to this day. I don't leak anymore. I haven't leaked since 3 months. And by the way, leaking and engorgement and everything like that after your milk supply is established does not mean that your milk is not there anymore or that you're not producing enough. Your body just knows how much your baby needs, so trust your body. And again, if you're super leaky, remember, pumping will not help the situation. Using a Haka will not help the situation either. It will just make it worse, where it will increase your milk supply and produce more and more after you keep getting rid of it. Number 11 is letdown. So I want to say something about this because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know I should expect anything when there was a letdown. So like a few weeks while breastfeeding Jaden, I really started feeling like a tingly sensation, or maybe I just started like noticing it more and more. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I was like, why are my boobs like hurting? It was like a tingly painful sensation. So I did Google it and it's totally normal. It just means your letdown was happening. So I did feel it very intense in the beginning stages. I do not feel it anymore at all, really. But that's just something to be aware of, so don't freak out. And women feel it in different ways as well, whether it's pins and needles, whether it's just warmth, whether it's a little like pain. And some women don't feel anything at all, so it's okay if you don't. I also just want to say there's something called DMER, which is dysphoric milk ejection reflex, and this causes intense sadness and negative emotions during breastfeeding. So if you are one of those moms out there who is struggling with this, please reach out to somebody for help. Postpartum in itself can be a lot, so having the addition of that, I mean, I can't even imagine. Our hormones are all out of whack to begin with, and I feel like nobody really ever understands it unless you truly go through it. Like, I don't think our husbands, our partners, whoever, our dads, they will never understand it because they don't have to go through it. But postpartum is really hard. I remember like going into the car and crying because we left our dog at home. Like, there was just times that I was just so angry and so emotional, and like, I don't know if I had like postpartum rage. I don't think I had postpartum depression to say, but I was all over the place. And if you do feel this way, please reach out for help. There's nothing wrong with it. We're all going through it. But it's better to ask for help than not to. And the last thing I want to say, number 12, it's okay to stop, and it's totally okay to keep going. As a mom, you know what's best for you. If you feel that breastfeeding is draining you mentally and physically, because it is like a full-time job, it is exhausting. There's been times where I wanted to quit and I was like, let me just keep going. Like, and then a month would pass by and I'm like, okay, maybe just a little bit more. I know that my goal was 3 months first, and then I made another goal of 6 months, and then I made another goal of 9 months. So maybe making baby steps of goals might help, but I think having the support and everything as well is super important. And you know, just figuring out what's best for you. I felt like at this time, I really wanted to provide breast milk for Jaden, give him my antibodies, my immunity, especially during this time. So again, it's okay to stop, it's okay to go to formula, it's okay to pump, it's okay to do whatever you think is best. Currently, we are breastfeeding in the morning. Mostly, I'm not even pumping. I literally just said no more pumping. I quit. I couldn't do anymore. I literally was feeling super stressed about it. It was just not good anymore. I stopped pumping. I still have the milk in the morning. I'm not sure how or if it's going to stop, but I'm going to keep going as much as I can. We always have our breastfeeding session in the morning, and then throughout the day he has formula and his solid foods. I do feed him the Holy or the Holly, I don't know what it's called. I'll link it down below if anyone's interested. I did some research. It's a European formula. It just has less ingredients than some of the ones that we know. And I chose the goat milk version. I don't know why, call me crazy. I just preferred the goat milk over the cow's milk. Again, no reason why. But he really liked it, and he still likes it. He drinks it. He drinks about like 20 ounces of it still at 10 months old. So that's that. So I really hope you guys found this helpful. These are some of the things I wish somebody told me before I breastfed. I know it's a lot of information, but just take it day by day, breathe, ask for help if you need it, and just know that you can do this, mama. All right? Take care, guys. Bye.